Namaskar. I welcome you to the third musical discourse on Aalok, Theory and Contemporary Music Performance series. We request Dr. Prabha Atre ji to share her thoughts on Sargam.
In the previous two sessions, we learned that we need music material to make music. First was alap, then bowls, then sargam, and then taan. We had 4 types of material. We talked about alap, taan, and bolalap. Today we will talk mainly about sargam. We know that rag and tal both are the unique concepts of Indian music. It is possible there might be concepts close to rag and tal in other music cultures, but the way we conceive rag, the way we understand tal, we use it, we present them, is special to Indian music. These are 2 unique features of Indian music. Similarly, the use of sargam, meaning use of note names in phrases as a music material, is also unique to Indian music. Use of note names is sargam. Why has it emerged when we have music material like alap, bowl, and tans? What was the need of sargam phrases? So it is like this. We have 7 notes in saptak, and it was necessary to give them names. Otherwise, how would we recognize about which swar we are talking? To identify them, it was necessary to give them names. And the way you know, the names were given as Shadja, Rishab, Gandhar, Madhyam, Pancham, Dhaivat, Nishad. Why these names only? It is a topic of research and we don't need to think about it. And we are not discussing it right now. How difficult it would be if we start singing Shadj, Rishab, etc. Let's listen.
Shadj, Rishab, Gandhar, Madhyam, Pancham, Dhaivat, Nishad.
It was supposed to be Shuddha Madhyam. Anyways, it's okay. Sing Avroh.
Shadj, Nishad, Dhaivat, Pancham, Madhyam, Gandhar, Rishab, Shadja.
During presentation, how difficult, inconvenient would it be if we use full note names in the phrases? So, note names were therefore abridged so that they could be used in presentation. While thinking, learning, practicing or teaching, it is very difficult to sing full note names, which is why they were abridged, right? We can believe so. Let us listen how Shadja, Rishab note names are abridged.
Shadja,
Sa,
Rishab,
Re,
Gandhar,
Ga,
Madhyam,
Ma,
Pancham,
Pa,
Dhaivat,
Dha,
Nishad.
Ni.
So, being monosyllables, while making musical phrases, while singing, while creating, while thinking, these abridged note names had been very convenient. That's why they were abridged. Now, while practicing, learning, teaching, the artists, musicologists of those times must have realized that these names have beauty of sound. When a musical phrase is designed using sa, using re, it becomes aesthetically rich. And being monosyllable, there are some other advantages too, like in Layakari, monosyllables help to bring out beauty, and these sa, re, ga convey only musical meaning. If we take some word, sumira or mana, ao, jao, rasiya, all these have their own literal meaning, linguistic meaning, but sa, re, ga, ma convey only musical meaning. And the way there exists emotions in words like sumira, paiya pado, whatever we say, there have the emotions behind them. But if we say sa, re, ga, ma, then they don't convey these emotions. They definitely have musical meaning, but the meaning which words have, the literal meaning, that is not there in Sargam. So the artist can lend his own emotion into that. While singing, the way he takes the movements, he presents, he executes, the emotional graph is also built along with it. He can lend that emotion into it. So being monosyllable, we get four things. One is in creating or presenting, thinking, or even in writing musical phrases, Shadja Rishabh is very inconvenient. Saregama is very convenient. Even while singing, it makes it easy, so that's why it has been abridged. But in spite of this abridgment, the way we have used alap, bol alap, tan, why sargam is also used. So the way I have mentioned that it has a distinct aesthetics of sound. It depends on the artist how to pronounce it. It is similar to words, the way if the word is not pronounced properly, it fails to convey the emotions. The emotion does not get built. It is the same with sargam, that when you pronounce sargam, saregama, it should be very clear, musical, with fragility, tenderness. It should have emotions, and the framing should be such that might be difficult in alap or tan, which is distinct than even bol alap. Such work is done by using sargam that was realized by the artists, and sargam was being used by them. Now we will see if there is the same musical phrase like nirega marega, then how it sounds in alap, in bol alap, in sargam and tan.
The music phrase is Nire Gapa Marega. In the beginning, we will listen to the phrase in Akar. The same phrase with word Sumira as Bol Alap. Same phrase as Sargam.
Nire ga pa mare ga, nire ga pa mare ga.
the same music phrase as Tan in Akar.
Another example of this, Gama Dhani Thapa Mare. First of all, in Bhashik Swarakar, the same music phrase using the word Sumira presented as Bolalap. The same music phrase presented as Sargam.
Gamadani pamure, gamadani pare.
The same music phrase in the form of Tan. When we present music material during performance, we don't sing one after the other like this. In the beginning there is Alap section, then Bolalap or Sargam, and at the end Tan. So when we listen anything out of context, then it does not sound good. I mean, it does not sound good as it is supposed to be. If you would have listened to it in the Alap section, it would have been sounding better. Even the Sargam would have been better. So because of the example, we have presented it in Alap, Bolalap, Sargam and Tan, etc. While singing Sargam, there is one very big responsibility on us. The note sung has to be in its own pitch position, right? For example, in Ni Re Ma, Ni should be at Ni, Re should be at Re, and Ma should be at Ma. It should be pitch perfect. In case of words, we can sing words at any note the way we want. If we feel this swar can help emote, we can put the word on that note. But in Sargam, we have to sing the note name only at its own pitch position. Secondly, words have their literary meaning, their own meaning, but Sargam has only musical meaning. They don't have literal meaning. So this is the main difference in literal words and swara. One more thing about words. For example, the word Sumira has its own sound structure. Sumira word, Su means Sa plus U, Ma plus E, Ra plus A, Sumira. So the length, the frame, the sound structure of the word Sumira should remain intact. But in presentation, when we use it, the way we talk Sumira, it is not pronounced like that. While singing, we have to take care.
Prabha, I have a question about the same. Like the way you explained about the melody of Sarigama Padani, Sa can be elongated with A, Re can be elongated using A, even Nishad can be elongated with Ni, E, but the rest of the syllables Gama Pada cannot be elongated as much as they are short vowels. They have a different sound structure. Then how can we elongate them?
A should be absolutely stretched towards A. The audience should not come to know. A should be stretched towards A.
We have heard very good examples of this in your presentations. That is why I
Yeah.
brought this up.
Becomes a, and you need to do it so delicately that nobody notices. So now we have to see how alap, bol alap, and sargam alap are different from each other. Huh. I will ask them to repeat these examples to know them better, otherwise, it will not be easily understood. If we do it once only, it is difficult to understand. Actually, I have said if there is a 2-minute piece of Sargam in front of you, how will you understand the work done in it? It is very difficult to break it and explain it.
The notes of music phrase are Nidhapamagare. We will present it first in Akar. In Bol Alap, word Sumira.
Sumira, Sumira.
In Sargam,
Nidhapamagare, Nidhapamagare.
Second example, Dhani Rema Rega. First of all, in Bhashiks for Alap using Akar, the same music phrase using the word Sumira as Bol Alap. The same music phrase as Sargam Alap.
Dhani re ma re ga, dhani re ma re ga.
You must have noticed how Sargam easily blends with Alap. I mean, Alap and Sargam, they both become one. Similarly, let us see Tan.
in Tan, the notes used are Nidhapamagare, Pamagare Sa. In the beginning, Akar. Word Sumira using this phrase.
Sumira, Sumira.
Sargam with the same music phrase.
Nidhapamagare, Pamagare Sa, Nidhapamagare, Pamagare Sa.
Now we saw that Sargam can become one with Tan. Word Sumira, Sumira. We don't say it normally like this while speaking, but in singing we accept this stretching. This stretching of the word Sumira is accepted by us. Similarly, we have to accept few other things in Sargam singing. Another example. The notes used in Tan, Rema, Gadha, Mani, Dhasa, Nire, Sani, Dhapa, Maga. Presentation of Akar in this phrase. Word Sumira rendered using this phrase.
Sumira, Sumira.
Sargam presentation using the same music phrase.
Re ma ga da ma ni da sa ni re sa ni da pa ma ga. re ma ga da ma ni da sa ni re sa ni da pa ma ga.
Now we will see another example. In Bolalap or Bolupaj, the words get broken, distorted a little in making a rhythmic structure with the help of words. Words lose their identity. Personally, I am not used to singing Bolupaj, but today we have tried a little. Lyrics are Lagi Lagi Re Hari Sanga.
Lagi lagi re hari sang, lagi lagi re hari sang, lagi lagi re, lagi re hari sang, प्रीत ये जन्म जन्म की, lagi lagi re hari sang, प्रीत ये जन्म जन्म की, lagi lagi re, मनि मद ग म रे ग नि रे ग रे म ग प रे ग रे सा, lagi lagi re, मनि मद ग म रे ग नि रे ग रे म ग प रे ग रे सा, lagi lagi re.
Another example of this.
Hari sang lagi lagi re, lagi re hari sang, प्रीत ये जन्म जन्म की, lagi lagi re, lagi re hari sang, प्रीत ये जन्म जन्म की, lagi lagi re, मनि दा सा नि रे सा नि दा नि दा प म ग म ग रे सा, lagi lagi re hari sang,
lagi re hari sang, lagi lagi re, lagi hari sang, lagi lagi re, lagi hari sang, lagi lagi re, sa 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 ni da pa ma ga re sa, lagi lagi re, sa 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 ni da pa ma ga re sa, lagi lagi re, hari sang, lagi lagi la. Hari sang lagi lagi, lagi hari lagi hari lagi hari, lagi lagi re, lagi hari lagi hari lagi, lagi lagi re, hari sang lagi lagi, hari sang lagi lagi, sa sa ni sa 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 ni sa 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 ni sa, lagi lagi re.
When the musical phrase was presented using words and also along with Sargam, we had to adjust words according to the rhythmic structure. In Sargam phrase, Sargam notes were sung at their pitch positions. There are certain structures which are not possible in Alap, Bolalap or Taan either. Sargam being made of monosyllables, we can take notes from 3 octaves in one phrase, which is difficult in Alap, difficult in Taan. These phrases sound very beautiful if composed nicely. A little tricky it is, but we should not do it again and again. It should sound beautiful. Now, notes from 3 octaves are taken in one phrase, which is not possible in Alap and also very difficult in Taan.
Ni re ga ma da ni re ga re ga ga re ga re ga ga re re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Ni re ga ma da ni re ga ga re ga re ga ga re re sa ni da ni da ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Ni re ga ma da ni re ga ga re ga ga re re sa ni da ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Once again.
Ni re ga ma da ni re ga ga re ga re re sa ni da ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Did you pay attention? Notes from 3 octaves were presented in one phrase. There is another example.
Re sa ni da ni ga re ga ga re ni da ga re sa ni da pa re pa ma ga re sa. Re sa ni da ni ga re ga ga re ni da ga re sa ni da pa re pa ma ga re sa.
In Sargam section, when phrases like these come across, people are excited, they start applauding, they appreciate it. We will listen to some more examples like this later. In Sargam phrases, it is expected that note name, say sa, should be sung at the pitch of sa or ma at the pitch position of ma only. However, it doesn't happen at times. Many times it doesn't happen because the way phrases are executed. What is it that makes it happen? We will now examine this. Now see, in sa re ga ma pa dha ni, each note syllable has a vowel to it. Sa, sa, a. Sa becomes a, ra, a becomes a. So every note name has a vowel along with it, and we use this vowel in joining the notes. Our Indian music does not use staccato notes. In making a phrase, notes are joined through mean. Our points of notes are joined with lines. That is how the sentence is created. If we sing the note names on the points, then sa, re would be the way. That is not the way here. In the process of doing this, pitch position of the note does not remain just a point as when a note is held for a long time. The distance between two notes is covered by the vowels in the notes. Let us see. So now we will see about the vowels of the note names here.
Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, ni, dha, pa, ma, ga, re, sa.
What happens here, as soon as we pronounce the note name sa, we come to a, we come to its vowel. And in alap, we say a for long time. In our whole presentation, a is used. Similarly, a after re, we also use a repeatedly. Then ni, e, that is also used. So these vowels are used as mean to join the notes with note names. Now we will see how we join them. There can be many examples, different ways of joining notes using their vowels. Music phrase.
Ni re ga ma. Ni ma.
In ni re ga ma, we have started with ni, then stretched it to ma. E of ni. On ni's position, ma is pronounced ni, ma, and then a is stretched to ma. Say it again.
Ni ma.
So ma consonant is dropped at the position of ni, ma. A is stretched up to ma's position. Ma only touches the ni, it doesn't stay there. Got it? Say it again. Ni, ma, Ni Re Ga Ma is the musical phrase. Ni, Ma. Ni is at its own pitch position. Ma is also at Ni's pitch position. And in that the vowel in Ma is stretched towards Ma. Ma is only touched at Ni. We did not stay at Ni. Ma is not sustained at Ni. Say it again, Ni Ma.
Ni Ma.
Another phrase is Gamadhani.
Gani, Gani.
In between, Gamadhani notes are there. On place of Ga, Ni is also uttered by saying Ga, Ni. It is stretched to Ni. Another example.
Ni Re Ga Ma.
In the same musical phrase,
Ni Ma. Ni Ma.
here Ni is pronounced at the Ni's pitch position only, in that the E of Ni is stretched up to Ma. Say it again.
Ni Ma.
Another example is Gamadhani.
Gani, Gani.
Ga is pronounced at Ga's pitch position. The vowel in it is stretched up to Ni's pitch position. That means Ga is at its own pitch position and Ni is at its own position. Third example.
Ni Ma. Ni Ma.
Now in this Ni Re Ga Ma, these four notes are there. Ni, E, Ma, is sung. Ni's E is stretched up to Re and Ma's is stretched up to Ma. Have you understood? If not understood, please let us know, because it is a bit difficult. You are listening it for the first time. Ni, E, Ma, Ni is pronounced at Ni's position. The vowel E of Ni is stretched up to Re and Ma is at Ga's position, and just after uttering Ma, we dropped it. We did not stay at Ga's position. The in it, we stretched it to Ma's pitch position.
Another example of Gamadhani.
Gani,
It is the same. Ga, Ni, E.
Gani, Gani.
Fourth example.
Ni Ma. Ni Ma.
In Ni Re Ga Ma, we have Ni is pronounced at Ni's position. Ma is at Re's position. By touching Re, Ma's is stretched up to Ma. Repeat it.
Ni Ma. Ni Ma.
Another example of this.
Gani, Gani, Gani.
Here also in Gamadhani, Ga, Ni. Immediately after Ga, we have said Ni, and Ni's E is stretched up to Ni. You can see the chart for having more clarity here. If someone is having difficulty to understand, please ask now. This work of joining notes is done by vowels. We tried to explain how it is done. Now, in the beginning we said that the work of combining notes is done by meend. Meend is there, Karn is there, then Andolan is there, Murki is also there. So we will explain how it goes along with the Sargam. We will show meend.
Ni re ga ma, ni re ga ma.
What is done here? By stretching re, ni, ga re, ma ga, ma. It is done like this. Re ni, ga re, ma ga, ma. Ni is E and re is A and ga is A. Got it? Sing it again.
Ni re ga ma.
Note name is pronounced at the previous note, but the vowels were stretched to their own pitch positions.
Ga ma dha ni, ga ma dha ni.
Here also it is the same. By touching the higher note, the note name is pronounced there. Ga, ma, da, ni. Done like this. These are very, very subtle aspects. You will have to listen to it repeatedly and see to it. Now, Karna. What is Karn? Although all these techniques come under mean, Karn is there, Andolan is there. Andolan is done by mean. Karn is also sung by mean, and Murki is also very similar. Still, they have subtle differences in them. Karn. Music phrases: ka, re, sa.
Ga sa, ga sa.
Ga, re, sa. It is phrase ga, re, sa. Ga, sa. She is saying ga, sa. Say it again.
Ga sa, ga sa.
Another example is ni tha pa.
Ni pa, ni pa, ni pa.
In between the, we are saying by ni e pa, ni e pa. Now Andolan. Music phrases:
Ga ma re 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 sa, ga ma re 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 sa.
Now in this, gama re, that comes by touching ga, gama re, re, re comes like this. Re doesn't stand on ga, it immediately returns to its own pitch position. That is Andolan. Say it again.
Ga ma re 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 sa.
Another example of this:
Ga ma dha pa, ga ma dha pa.
Sing gama dha dha pa.
Ga ma dha da da pa.
Now here, dha comes by touching ni. Gama dha, ni dha actually it is. Ni is touched by dha here every time. So this is Andolan. Now we will go towards Murki. The phrase is pa ma dha pa pa ma.
Pa ma da pa pa ma, pa ma da pa pa ma, a pa ma, pa ma.
In this murki, there are so many notes. If we speak like this while singing Sargam, pa ma dha pa ma ma, how non-musical it sounds, very unaesthetical. We have to maintain the beauty while singing. We have to take care of aesthetics, emotional aspects. For that, we should compromise if needed, but why we do so, that should be logical. It should not be just for the sake of doing. There should be logic behind it, why we do so, and what's its effect, and what if we don't do so. That is what we are trying to put in front of you. Now, one more example.
Another example, the notes are Sani, Resa, Sani.
Sani, Sani, Sani.
So here sa ni re sa sa ni is there. So saying re sa sa is avoided in pronouncing sa a ni. That is rendered so fast here. So we are not saying note names and only sa ni is pronounced. Again sa ni.
Sani, Sani.
This is murki. Now we will listen to a few more examples. Say which musical phrase is there. We join the notes using their vowels.
Phrase of descending notes in which by stretching the vowel E of Nishad, the other notes of phrase are joined. Nidha pama gare.
Ni re, ni re.
Here E of ni has been stretched up to re. Ni e re.
Ni re, ni re.
That means the joining of notes in the middle is done by vowels, not by note names. Ni's effect on you is actually illusionary. In reality, we are using E of ni, not ni. Ni's E is stretched downwards. Huh.
Now the same phrase, but it has been connected differently.
Ni pare, ni pare, ni pare.
E of ni, A of pa, and A of re, we have joined using these vowels. When we perform Sargam, we have to use these many techniques. That helps to bring out variety. That sounds beautiful. Sing it again.
Ni pare, ni pare.
The same phrase Nidha pamagare, in which notes have been connected differently.
Ni re, ni re, ni re.
At ni's position, ni is pronounced until the pa ma, that E is stretched. Ni, e, re. On the position of a ga, we have pronounced re. We have only touched ga, and then its A is stretched up to re. Another example. Dhani re ga ma dhani.
Dhani re ga ma dhani, dhani.
Generally, we would not sing this phrase so slow. This is just to demonstrate.
Dhani, dhani.
And the other one. Another
Sadharan.
example.
ध रे मनी ध रे मनी.
Now, from this musical phrase, select any of the note and join it with vowel, right? Here, dhani, dha, re, e, this one, right? Dha, re, e, mani, e. It's joined like this. Dha, re, e, mani, e. This is how it is combined.
ध रे मनी.
We are singing it very slow here. Actually, while singing Sargam Vakya, it would not be like this. The presentation would not be like this. Yes. Go
Third
ahead.
example.
ध रे नि ध रे नि ध रे नि.
Fourth example.
ध नि ध नि.
One can bring in as many variations as one can, but it must sound nice, melodious. One accusation is always there, as I mentioned earlier. They don't believe in note names and use them anywhere, which is not at its pitch position. So we have already seen the reason for this, that joining of notes is done through vowels of the notes, and when we touch it, we don't pronounce it. We go ahead after touching it, we don't stop there. So we have to take care of this. Sargam, the way I said, is a very powerful music material. It works as alap, taan. The breaking or distortion of words, as in bold phrases, is absent in Sargam because it is monosyllabic. It is pronounced at its pitch position and stretching its vowel whenever necessary. So even that argument is lost. While composing bold phrases, words are broken, distorted, then the emotion is lost. Sargam, we have to power our emotions. Artist is free to color it with whatever emotion he thinks is right. The rhythmic play also becomes easy because of its monosyllabic nature. The la, gi, re, la. Their musical shape, we have to maintain that musical shape. Here, there is no such restriction. Being monosyllabic, it becomes easier. And the way I mentioned earlier, in Sargam phrases, one can use notes from 3 octaves, which is not possible in alap. Taan also has limitations, but it is very difficult in bol alap. So Sargam works in all these 4 aspects, still has its distinct identity. The other thing is that it is a pure music material, like alap is a pure music material. Pure means what? It is not colored by any other emotion, it has only musical meaning. The pure music material is alap and taan. Because by saying a, one cannot direct to any other thing. A is a. You don't know what is a. Whatever emotion you power, that a is a. So this pure material, alap and taan and sargam too, because in that only musical meaning is conveyed to you. I have seen that the common listener who has no knowledge of Shastra, for him the work, meaning there is a vision in front of him about the work you are doing. Instead of just singing a, if you recite sargam, then it becomes clear. It becomes clear what work you are doing and they can enjoy it even better. We will see whenever it comes to sargam, people are always, they are very enthusiastic. There is an exciting atmosphere that is created which people enjoy. So if you have any objection about sargam, then let me know. that Sargam should not be done, or something like, why is it so? Why did you do this? I don't say that everyone should sing Sargam. Those who like can alone practice it. But Sargam should not be sung, we shouldn't be saying, we shouldn't oppose someone who is singing. If you don't like it, then there is no need that you sing it. Like, I don't like Bol Upaj, so I don't do it. But if someone does it well, I enjoy that, and so should you. If you do not wish to sing, then don't. But any opposition against Sargam and telling not to sing as they see the skeleton when Sargam is sung, people speak to this extreme. So,
Singing Sargam is very challenging. It demands a lot of practice to do it beautifully, effectively. It's not easy here.
No, it is not at all easy to sing Sargam. Like you practice Alap, you practice Taan, so also you need to practice Sargam to sing melodiously. In order to sing beautifully, you need to practice. As speaking alphabets, anyone can sing Sargam. That is no big deal. It doesn't even sound nice. We should not sing like this. But if you want to do it well, want to sing it properly, if you want to bring in melody and emotion in it, if you want to bring in beauty, then you need a lot of practice for that. And with Sargam, while learning and teaching, you contemplate, there is a clear picture in front of you. Just by how are you going to recognize the note? So whenever you learn, definitely practice Sargam. It is very, very important. Your vision gets clear about what you are doing. Even if there is kan used, then we know which note is used. Otherwise, you won't know what you are singing. We would sing blindly. We need to know the kan used is of which note, how much of it is being used. How was this movement executed? If you go from sa to ma, where and how did you move? You need to know all of this. This practice is very essential. Whether you sing Sargam in your presentation or not, definitely practice for it. It will be very beneficial for you.
I would like to add something over here. Like you said, just by singing in Akar, we would not know which note we are singing. Meaning it's not like it will be clear. Sometimes we sing blindly, but clarity
we would not know.
We would not know it. And this difficulty probably centuries ago artists must have faced. I would like to cite a historical example because this emphasizes the explanation you just gave. Pandit Vishnu Digambar Paluskarji's education was through Akar or through bowls. He was not taught to using Sargam. He did not know how to use Sargam. Later on, when he went to Mathura and heard Sargam from the artist over there, he came to know about it. He later on tried to make notation. B.R. Devdarji has written that when Paluskarji composed a bandish in Yaman, Avagunana Kijiye Guni Sanga, it took him nearly 20 days to complete its notation because he had no knowledge of Sargam. But after he realized the importance of Sargam, he introduced Sargam in the syllabus. And after the foundation of Gandharva Mahavidyalaya in 1901, since then Sargam is included in the syllabus. It is taught right from the first class. Later he taught his students to write and sing Sargam. How to write, I think probably
it's very important.
In education
it
system,
is very, very essential. You need to understand what work you are doing. Just with you won't come to know what's happening. Even when you listen to music, then a lot of artists don't know how to listen to music. Even listening is an art. It is very, very listening is just as difficult an art as the art of singing. The most minute movement which is happening, I mean, you should be able to see it. That happens through Sargam. What work is going on? Otherwise, you only listen. That doesn't do anything. If you are focused and you have good knowledge, then whether a particular note is in given rag, why was it used, you come to know all these things. Knowledge of Sargam is very, very important for practice, to understand the song, to understand the music, whether you perform or not. That's your wish. But I would say if you start doing this, then you will enjoy a lot and your audience will also enjoy it even more.
Any questions?
Now I will, one thing I forgot, that in Bandish, by using Sargam, we get a different face of it. I mean, the work we do usually is just by taking words with the lyrics. Mostly Bandishes have literature in them. In case we use Sargam in Bandish, then we get a different phase. So I'll make you listen to two compositions where there is Sargam, like Ari is there, and the Sargam structures are also very different. Just see.
Rag Champa Kali Tarana, Bandish set to Ek Tal.
Would you please repeat the name of Rag?
Rag Champa Kali, Drut Ek Tal Tarana.
The work of Sargam done here, I could not do that in Alap, even not in Bol Alap and not even in Tan. This is only possible in Sargam. Only in Sargam it is possible.
Rag Madhur Kons. This rag has been created by Prabha Atre. I will present the Tarana.
Tanana tanum dir dir tadani dani tanana tanum dir dir tadani dani tanana tanum dir dir tadani dani 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 dir dir tadani dani 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 tadani tadani tanana tanana tanum dir dir tadani dani 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 dani, o dani 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 dani, sani da maga ni da maga maga ni da maga sani sani da ma sani da ma maga maga sani sa maga sani maga ni da sani da maga sa ga ma da ni sa ga ma da ni sa ga ma da tanana tanu de de ta dani dani tanana tanu, o dani 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 dani, o dani 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 dani, sani da maga ni da maga maga ni da maga sani sani da ma sani da ma maga maga sani sa maga sani maga ni da sani da maga sa ga ma da ni sa ga ma da ni sa ga ma da tanana tanu de de ta dani dani tanana tanu de de ta dani dani tanana tanu.
All these things should be heard in its context, the way the presentation is going on of Madhur Kaus, and when it comes to Drut Bandish, then it sounds good. But how can Sargam be used, how the Bandish rises through it? Our attempt was to show that.
Questions, if anyone has any?
Many times it happens that the elegance of Sargam, that is kept aside. In the presentation nowadays, we see people use Sargam only to get applause from the audience, and they render it fast, where we can hear more gimmicks, singing the same phrase 10 times so that people would applaud. So do you feel that Sargam is being used inappropriately nowadays? What do you think about this?
Everything is used inappropriately. Why we just talk about Sargam? Even with Tan it happens. It happens everywhere. Now it depends upon the artist what he wants to do. One should keep in mind how much alap he needs to take. One can definitely do it once or twice for applause. That's also necessary, but do the required work nicely. Do it before. Once or twice do it even for that work, but what can we do to those who use it inappropriately for applause? They need to understand.
We have heard a lot of your performances, so the elegance of your Madhyalaya Sargam, which we can hear even in your khayal. So nowadays we see that melody is used very rarely. So I think it's very important for the audience to know how to listen to music, how to listen to Sargam.
That is what I said. We first need to learn to listen and then learn to sing.
Another question. Sargam, how do you use it in different forms? I would like to know your thoughts about it. This was the first question to which I got the answer. Proportion of Sargam in our performance. What should be the proportion, and does it change according to the rag? The rag we are presenting, or does it differ with the rag?
Absolutely. In some Tan sounds better, and in some Alap, and in some even the Sargam sounds nice. So the artist needs to see what will be appropriate, what work he can do nicely. This is also a question, right? He should also know Sargam well, know the Tan well, only then he can do it. But Alap is a must everywhere. Only then the rag springs out. That's when the detail are visible. If you start with just Tan, that's okay. It can happen in a play where they don't have time, they do Alap and move to Tan, that's okay. But in a concert, there should be more Alap than a little Tan, a little Sargam, Bol Upaj, whichever you like. The work should be good, it should have beauty in it, and it should have emotion. This is very important.
Absolutely. Just like you said, firstly, it depends on the person who likes what and what he is able to perform well. As Prabha Atre mentioned, also the nature of rag, the sequence of rags, their timing in the concert. The first rag can have elaborate treatment having more alap, another rag can have more sargam. It depends on how the artist plans, visualizes his concert, like Prabha Atre said. Other thing is that anything can be used inappropriately and people accept it. But why should we talk about inappropriate usage? Let's talk about melody.
Sai Pranam. You have covered all points in your discourse, but because this is a subject of my PhD, we consider Merukhand a proficient state of Sargam, which you have practiced a lot. If you can enlighten us a little about that, and a small question, the way we practice Sargam, is Merukhand also being practiced similarly in your gharana, in your singing? Thank you. Thank you so much.
When we talk about the practice, the topic of Riyaz, we will talk about this then. Though I would like to say something that mathematical calculation exists in its place, but when we present it, which amongst that can we use? Mirkhand is also good, but which phrase to take from it, how to use it, all of this depends upon us. If we keep on doing that only, then it really mathematics. That's not to happen. It gives us a thought, direction to think, but what to take, in which direction to go or not, that's for us to decide.
Another small question. Any specific practice ritual of Merukhand which were in the gharanas still exist or not when they take it from Upajang? Is there any specific practice ritual?
I was not taught this in my gharana. I have practiced by listening and reading, but it can definitely be used, but for practice. How to do combinations, for that you definitely should practice, but that should not be done as a mathematical calculation like you do this and that. How nice will the sequence come out? How will it feel? The execution also matters. There is Nirega, but they will do Regani. But how to sing Regani? That depends upon you. The execution along with that is also something very difficult. We need to understand that.
If you can give a small demonstration of this in your
That will be
session
there.
tomorrow.
We will show that
When
later.
we will discuss the topic of Riyaz, that's when we will talk about these things. Is there any question?
If everyone at least starts listening to Sargam, we don't know if they will sing, but at least we'll listen to it properly.
I think there are no more questions because the discussion was so good that everyone's questions were answered.
Thank you.
So we will end this session now. We will meet tomorrow at the same time. We will also see how Sargam is being used in different music forms. And this session will be about more of Sargam. We will meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you.